Paddington and I have just finished reading Tab the Cat. We enjoyed it very much. It was a story about... can you remember? Oh, that's right. We've got this little girl. She goes somewhere, doesn't she? Is it the vet? Does she take her pet to the vet? Oh no, she goes to the pet shop because she wants to buy a pet. And who does she go with? She goes with her mum, doesn't she? Now, in this story, does mum say yes a lot of times? She doesn't, does she? There are a lot of pets that this girl wants to buy, but for some reason, each animal, mum doesn't want to buy that animal until they spot a cat. And mum wants her to buy the cat. She wants to buy the cat. And they end up taking the cat home. Now, we've got to remember, hold on to all of that, because we're going to read this story. What does it say? We've got tricky word, come, away, from, come away from the water, Shirley, come away from the water, Shirley, by John Birmingham. And we're going to compare Tab the Cat with Come Away from the Water, Shirley, to see what is similar and what is different. Paddington's got a task for us, though, before we start. And this task is about predicting what's going to happen. So looking at the front cover of this story, Paddington wants you to think of 3 questions you would like to find the answer to in this story. Okay? 3 things that you want to know about, or you want to find out about when we read it. Okay? Just give you a clue at the back. There's another picture. So, pause the video now and think of 3 things that you'd like to find out. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully you've got your 3 things that you'd like to find out. I'm just going to think aloud for my own things that I want to find out. Ooh. So, first thing, we've got Shirley. That's a name, isn't it? Is this Shirley or is this Shirley? That's the first thing I want to find out. Who is Shirley? Ooh, they look like they are having an adventure. I wonder what happens on this adventure. And a pirate flag. Do they find treasure? They're my 3 things that I want to find out. We're going to find out by reading the story. You ready, Paddington? Of course, it's far too cold for swimming, Shirley. Oh, who's Shirley? Who's saying that? Do you think these are Shirley's parents? Sounds like it. Let's have a look. We are going to put our chairs up here. Yeah, so it's definitely these people talking, isn't it? Why don't you go and play with those children? What children? I can't see any children. Mind you, don't get any of that filthy tar on your nice new shoes. Ooh, now I can start to see some people. Was there a pirate ship at the start of the story? Let's have a look. can see a rowing boat. They're at the seaside, aren't they? But I wonder if this is a real pirate ship. Don't stroke that dog, Shirley. You don't know where he's been. So, does Shirley go on an adventure? Well, it looks like she's starting to, isn't she? And I found out that this is Shirley. We're not so sure if this is her pet, because her grown-ups don't seem to be saying that she is her pet, does she? We don't know if she finds treasure yet, do we? That's the third and last time I'm asking you whether you want a drink, Shirley. Do you think that's coming from this grown-up? Careful where you're throwing those stones. You might hit someone. Ah, so on this page, what do we see? We see what Shirley is doing. Do you think she's playing, or do you think she's actually on a pirate ship? You won't bring any of that smelly seaweed home, will you, Shirley? Your father might have a game with you when he's had a little rest. Ah, so this is her father. So we can assume, do you think this is her mother? Looks like they found treasure. So I found out the 3 things I wanted to find out. I wonder if you found out what you want to find out. We ought to be getting back soon. Good heavens, just look at the time. We are going to be late if we don't hurry. And off they go, back home. Okay, so now let's think about what was similar and what was different. Okay, so let me just remind you guys, in this story, we had something a bit new, didn't we? We've got the text here, but we've also got speech bubbles. And this is what her grown-up, this is their conversation. This is what her grown-up is saying to her. This is the question she's asking. Was something similar happening in this story? Who was talking in this story? Let me just read this one again. We are going to put our chairs up here. So we. Oh, so it must be what the grown-ups are saying. Ah, so is that similar or is that different? In both stories we've got written what the grown-ups or the characters are saying. Now, let's think about what they're saying. Are the grown-ups playing with Shirley? Or do they keep nagging and keep saying, I can't do this, be careful, don't do that? They seem to be saying no a lot of the times, don't they? Is that something that's similar in this story or different? Let's have a think at the end of the story. Does Shirley get to play with her grown-ups? Does she get what the adults... Do the adults say yes in the end? They don't, do they? They run out of time. So is that similar or different? Do the grown-ups in this story say yes? Or do they run out of time? Well, that's different, isn't it? Because this grown-up ends up saying yes. Let's have a look as well about some other similarities. In both stories, we've got a little boy or a little girl? Little girl. Have we got a pet in both stories? Yeah, I think so. But is it different? Have they got the same animal as a pet? They don't, do they? So that's different. Well done.